Hello, hello, hello. This is attorney Mike Gravlin coming to you from Chicago, as usual. As you can hear, I don't even have the pep in my voice because I've been a busy boy today. I've been mostly over at Legal Bites watching the Amber Heard trial, and then I had a hearing of my own and a bunch of other stuff. But I kind of clipped down what I thought was a really interesting part of it today. I'll give you a little overview. We continued on with cross examination of Amber Heard. It was interesting but long, and she did continue to not do well. It wasn't quite as good, as impactful or whatever as yesterday, but it was the same tenor. She was not doing well and being caught. Looking silly in a lot of places. What I was interested in is what are they going to do next? She didn't sell it for me. So I've been saying this for a while. What are the corroborating witnesses? Well, there were two today, both by video, but they were interesting in their ways. The first one was it OI? I can't remember. It's some guy. They're all hangers on. They're all there living rent free, hanging around. It's sort of the entourage people. But that makes sense. They're close, but he didn't add anything. He confirmed a bunch of facts that were already in evidence that didn't surprise anybody, and then kind of threw some innuendo because he's sort of pro Amber, but really ineffective and unimportant. That's why I'm not showing his portion of testimony. It wasn't horrible. He was an okay guy. He's just kind of a simp for Amber and loyal to her and tried to help her, but didn't do anything. But the next witness is really interesting, and that's what we're going to do here. Is her good friend Rocky, and she calls her good friend Rocky to testify, and I was just shocked at the results. Now, we only played a portion of it, so we don't have all the testimony, and maybe it's super cool later, but I have no idea why Amber Heard's team would call this witness. You'll see what I mean when we start in it. Let's get it going.
Did you testify in the UK trial?
Thank you. Shervany?
Yes.
And for which party did you testify for the UK trial?
I believe it was the publication.
NBN.
And by the publication, you mean The Sun?
Yes.
Okay, so in case, for those people who don't know, I know some of you do, but there was a trial in the UK where Johnny sued The Sun for defamation. So she testified on behalf of The Sun, which not exactly, but it's sort of a proxy for Amber. Those are the people saying he's bad. So she was opposed to him in that litigation, and she's supposedly opposed to him here, but she does nothing but help him, as far as I can see.
When was the last time you spoke to Ms. Heard?
Perhaps 6 months ago, maybe more.
What did you and Ms. Heard speak about?
Probably it was before her baby was born. So we were mostly speaking about her baby at that point.
Did you speak to, when was the last time you spoke to Ms. Whitney Heard?
Around October, November of last year.
And when you say last year, you mean 2021?
Yes.
That kid.
When did you first meet Ms. Amber Heard?
I believe it was 2003.
These two
When you
aren't
met
friends
Ms. Heard in
anymore.
2003, developed a friendship. Is that right?
Yes.
Would you say you were best friends?
We became very close friends.
Your friendship with Ms. Heard, it persisted through her relationship with Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
The audio is not the greatest, so in case you didn't hear it, she asked if they were best friends, and she said we're very good friends. And I know all this stuff because I've been watching the trial for weeks. But for those of you who don't, they're very close. And in fact, she moves into a house or a condo provided by Johnny, and she's around for all of these events.
You were friends with Ms. Heard through her divorce from Mr. Depp as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Other than when you lived at the Eastern Columbia building, which we'll get to, did you ever live with Ms. Heard?
Yes.
When was this?
2017 to 2018.
This was the person that Curry testified Amber Heard punched.
Where did you guys live?
We lived on Holly Drive.
Was that a home?
Yes.
To answer the check,
And
yes.
did you pay
Video
rent?
depositions count towards the time. We don't know exactly what the split is, though, between
No.
the two sides.
Did Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Sitting here today, do you still consider Ms. Heard a friend?
I wouldn't consider her not a friend.
Ouch.
What does that mean?
We don't speak.
A
We
weird
are not enemies.
Why don't you speak?
We grew apart.
Interesting.
It
Rhonda,
happens
can I
when,
just have
like
a
a,
question read back?
Yes.
I think they had a falling out over Raquel stealing or misusing her credit card. Somebody can
Sitting
tell
here
me.
today, you can't give me one reason why you
Oh,
grew
wow.
apart from Miss Heard.
No, you just tell us.
I wanted to spend more time with other people in my life and prioritize other relationships and other relationships.
Amber doesn't let you do that.
What a nice euphemism for she's nasty. I wanted to prioritize other relationships. It's such corporate speak, but this is a problem Amber's got. She has bad relationships with a lot of people. I didn't know who she was, a month ago, but I'm seeing this sort of thing time and time again. Bear in mind, this is a witness called by Amber Heard's team. They offered this evidence. I do not know why, but they did.
Of course, your friendship with Amber Heard. Did you ever see her using illicit drugs?
Can you define illicit drugs?
Not prescribed.
Mega pints.
Yes.
Did you ever see her use cocaine?
Yes.
I think it's a yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Somebody.
Okay, so now we have. I would just cut off Natalie. Whatever, you'll hear. So now we have her confirming that her best friend, or close friend that she provided a house to for years, no longer speaks to her, and we've also confirmed her drug use. That doesn't sound like a big idea, but she's always throughout this trial posing as the moral majority on drug use. Johnny's admitted a lot of drug use, but meanwhile, she's doing stuff left and right, and she's always trying to act like, oh, I'm afraid of him and his drug use. Meanwhile, she's drinking wine, doing shrooms, MDMA, everything under the sun, but she just characterizes that as fun, good times for her. But it's a problem for Johnny. It's hard to watch.
finally telling the truth.
I'm just popping Molly and shrooms and acid, cocaine.
I don't know.
Countless?
No.
Less than 10?
Yes.
Less than 5?
Yes.
If you remember, when was the first time you ever saw Amber Heard use cocaine?
I don't remember.
Hard to remember when she does it all the
Did you ever
time.
do cocaine with Ms. Heard? Amber Heard?
Yes.
How often? You testified you saw Ms. Heard use mushrooms less than 5 times, yes?
Yes.
Each of those 5 times, or less than, was she in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
Did you say each of the 5 times?
Right.
Not each of the 5 times.
How many times that you observed Amber Heard use mushrooms was she in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
Maybe 3.
I sure
Do you
did.
recall the specific occasions when you saw Amber Heard use mushrooms while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
The first Coachella that we went to, the second Coachella that we went to.
I don't think you can go to Coachella without, taking something.
Maybe at Hicksville.
You recalled another argument with Miss Heard at Holly House, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What was this argument about?
She really seems thrilled to be here.
I think that we were setting up for Thanksgiving, and we were looking for maybe some glasses or some dishware. We had just moved in, and we couldn't find them anywhere. And then she finally found them in a place that I thought I had looked, and we started arguing about that. She thought that I wasn't looking hard enough, I think, and I told her that I thought that I looked there. Yeah, I think that's what their argument was about.
Was this just a verbal altercation, or did you get physical with each other?
Yeah, I believe that I pushed her.
I don't believe that by the way she says it. I don't think she pushed Amber because she said, I believe that I pushed her. You remember it. You either pushed her or you didn't. I believe I'm not saying I'm right. Just my gut reaction to that is you're making that up to protect her.
How did Miss Amber Heard react to that?
She either pushed or hit me back. Yeah.
You know where she hit you?
I think it was on my cheek.
You previously testified that you went on a trip to Hicksville with.
Okay, so far this is a humdinger for the defense here. They call a witness who establishes that she can't maintain a relationship with one of her best friends, that she does drugs, including cocaine. Cocaine's specifically good because she really preens about cocaine, that she's afraid Johnny's doing cocaine. And she makes these crazy arguments like, well, I do every other drug, but cocaine, that's the bad one. And that's what scares me. Meanwhile, her best friend says, yeah, I've done coke with her. So we've established that her best friend doesn't like her anymore. She does cocaine and other drugs, and that she hit her friend. So, again, this is all the stuff she's projecting on Johnny. You're abusive. Well, we have her admitting that she's hit Johnny and cut his finger. And I don't know, she didn't admit to cutting the finger, but she did. Then she says, you're a drug abuser. Well, there's all sorts of testimony that she's doing drugs whenever she feels like it.
Ms. Heard, Mr. Depp, and some other friends. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you for this, Woody.
Do you recall when this trip occurred?
I appreciate your perspective. It helps to have folks like you talking out or speaking out. I should
Not
say.
off the top of my head.
Do you recall who else went on that trip?
Yes.
People are asking,
Well,
this is Raquel Pennington. So she was a good
Whitney
friend.
Heard.
Who was one of the freeloaders who got an
Nathan,
Johnny.
who was one of Johnny's assistants.
She testified towards the beginning of her depo that they grew apart because Rocky
Brittany
wanted to
Eustace.
prioritize other relationships.
Right. Exactly.
Kelly
She didn't get into specifics beyond that.
Milano.
Nice breakup line.
Yeah. It was very diplomatic of her. That's fine.
Yep.
I can't believe Heard's team is offering this.
Do you think it's really just lousy, basically?
No.
It kicks off with her hitting somebody.
Trying to remember.
It's ridiculous.
And a good
Yeah.
friend who chose to leave her.
Right.
Why? Because she's nasty.
Because this is the best she's got. Otherwise, they would just have no one testifying for her, right?
No,
Except for that
I don't
sister
remember anybody else.
He was on record with
It's like you
bruises.
Where were you all
Never
seen?
gave her.
It's pretty sad, to be honest.
At Hicksville Trailer Park.
What
You
we're
just
seeing
personally
is the result of
witnessed
life.
Mr. Depp
It's
become,
not
quote,
well lived.
angry and aggressive, end quote, toward a friend of yours.
It's a cautionary tale, really.
Yes.
It's unfortunate, but
Relative to
It's
where
not me.
Mr. Depp was, where were
Yeah.
you when this occurred?
actions have consequences.
We were around a campfire.
My question is a bit more specific. Relative to where Mr. Depp was when
Okay, so then we've got through that, and we get to a place called Hicksville, which is, believe it or not, supposedly like a nice trailer park out in the desert for, you know, whatever. And they're out there on sort of a little holiday, and everyone's doing drugs. And the testimony is that a bad fight ensues here, and Johnny's violent, nuts, and everything. And then Rocky gives her account of this fight, which completely does not support Amber's testimony, the only person who testifies in that manner. So again, you know, we've established drug use, hitting somebody else, losing a friend, and now we're not corroborating her testimony. We're actually contradicting her testimony. I don't know where they're going with this.
this occurred, where were you sitting or standing?
I was at the same campfire
How close were you to
in a
Mr. Depp?
circle, 6 to 10 feet.
What time of day did this occur?
Evening.
Had you consumed any drugs or alcohol at this time?
I think so.
Yeah.
What do you recall consuming at
Of
that
course
time?
you did.
I don't remember
I'm just
likely
popping
wine.
through.
I don't remember specifically.
Did you smoke any weed?
No,
Did you consume any cocaine?
no.
Had you consumed any mushrooms?
I
That's a
believe
yes.
so.
Yeah. If you do shrooms so
Have
much
you
that you're just not
consumed
sure of
any
that particular day,
MDMA?
come on.
No.
Who was
I
the
didn't know
friend that you
you-
referenced Mr. Depp became,
You're a
quote,
drug
angry and
addict.
aggressive
Anyway.
towards?
Do them every day.
Kelly Sue.
How did you know her?
She was married to a work friend of mine.
Do you have any independent recollection of how long you had known Kelly
Good
Sue
question.
Milano by the time Hicksville occurred?
More than 1 year, less than 2.
What did you witness Kelly Sue Milano doing that evening before Mr. Depp became, quote, angry and aggressive?
I witnessed her hang out with the rest of the group.
Did you see her consume any alcohol?
Not that I remember.
Did you see her smoke any weed?
No,
Consume cocaine?
no.
Did you see her consume any mushrooms?
Maybe 1. So I'm genuinely trying to remember.
Swinging group of people. That's all I have to say. Having good times.
It was
I saw
moderate
her eat some amount. I don't know how much.
So that's
Did
a
you
yes.
see her consume any MDMA?
No.
You testified that Mr. Depp said words to the effect of, quote, get off my woman, end quote, to your friend. Is that right?
I testified that.
Did you personally hear Mr. Depp say that?
Yes.
Is this the, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote, conduct by Mr. Depp that you testified to?
Yes.
Other than telling Kelly Sue Milano to, quote, get off his woman, end quote, what did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote?
That was what happened. Then
Whoa.
I think Kelly and Amber were hugging on a chair out by the fire.
It's a big difference.
He came out of nowhere, said that, and then I think that Amber and Johnny went back to to their trailer.
What happened to trying to break her wrist?
Other than hearing Mr. Depp.
It's good. It's good. I left. I did this from the legal bites. That was Natalie. That's the thing. They were talking about a violent confrontation. I don't really want to get into it, all the specifics of it, because it would take too long. But they're talking about him just being a complete maniac, really violent, and all this stuff in her presence. And then she comes on and says, "Well, I didn't see anything." I mean, it's their witness.
Say something to the effect of "get off my woman." What did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive?
Thank you.
She'll know.
That's it.
Did you hear Amber say anything to Mr. Depp?
I don't remember her saying anything.
Did
Both
you hear
of these
Amber
So
her
far
voice
as the
voice
opposite of extrinsic
speaking to Mr.
corroboration.
Depp?
Yep.
No.
Wow. Why is this put
What,
on
if
by her
anything, do you
team?
remember about Amber's
Seriously.
reaction to Mr. Depp's behavior?
Because it was the best they can do. They had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to get somebody.
He was
at the
trying
target.
to comfort him.
This evening in Hicksville, did you ever see Amber Heard consume
And
any
this is
drugs or
their
alcohol?
landing point. This is how they stick the landing.
This is
It's
horrible.
more like a belly flop.
I didn't see
Do
it.
we know when the sister Whitney is going to
You
testify?
didn't see Miss Heard drink any
I
wine?
guess tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't remember a specific
This is
time watching her
Lindsay,
take
they
a
said.
sip of a drink.
Did you personally witness Mr. Depp, quote, in a rage, end quote, that Miss Heard described?
Did I personally witness the rage in the trailer?
Anywhere.
No.
Wow.
Jeez.
Did you hear
terrible.
Mr.
Never
Depp
witnessed the
yelling in
rage.
trailer?
Wow.
No.
Well, no, she wouldn't have been in
Did
the
you hear
trailer.
Miss
I mean,
Heard yelling in the
she'd
trailer?
never be able
But
to
it's a trailer.
part of that.
No.
Did you personally see that the trailer was, quote, trashed, as
Has
Miss Heard
anyone
described?
testified to seeing Johnny hit Amber?
The
No.
next morning?
No one has.
Yes.
This is where the essay happened inside the trailer, the cavity search.
What specifically did
Yeah.
you see in the trailer?
According to Amber.
Mhm.
The thing I remember specifically was the light fixtures had been knocked off.
You love it, Erica.
But you didn't see Mr. Depp knock off the light fixtures in the trailer, is that correct?
It wasn't in there.
I did not see it.
My best bet is
So
that
the
this
only thing
witness
you know
exists
about what
from May
happened in that
2016
trailer
in the
is what
hoax
Ms. Heard
countersuit.
told you and your observations of the light fixtures being knocked off. Is that correct?
The only thing I know
Daniel, I
about what
hope so.
happened in the trailer is what
I
she
hope so.
told me and what I saw the next morning.
And the only thing you saw the next morning was that the light fixtures had been knocked off. Is that correct?
Yes, Sam.
That was not the only thing I saw. It is the specific thing I saw.
What else do you recall about the trailer?
It was in a general disarray.
Well, there you have it. That was their witness, and shortly after that, they ended for the day. Now, maybe there's some fantastic stuff coming down the pike that I don't know about. They have all the testimony. This was a deposition taken in January, so the attorneys know everything she's saying. I mean, if it stopped now, they would be out of their mind. So maybe there's some great stuff for Amber Heard later in this testimony, but right now it is worse than neutral. I mean, it's bad for her. I mean, if I was Johnny, I would offer this in my case in chief. So you got to figure there's something that's helpful to Amber later, but I don't know what's going through their minds. It better be good to overcome all the bad hits they've taken so far in the front end of this testimony. But the case is really gotten crazy. That's what I've been waiting for, because I was completely unconvinced by Amber Heard. In her testimony, it was more good cross-examination today, but I did a really good video on that. I'll put a I'll put a link in the description below, or a card up or something. What did I call that yesterday? Amber gets destroyed or something like that. Amber Heard destroyed. At least that's what I put on the thumbnail, and I think that's it. Although I will say I was there for a lot of that testimony today too, and that was still the best of that group. There was more good stuff, but that was the best of it. It really was. So you know, they call one the other witness who is just a sap who will do anything Amber Heard wants him to. You know, just sort of a dopey guy. He didn't really hurt Amber, but he didn't really help either. He just sort of said things we already knew. He did testify that he never saw Johnny Depp abuse her himself. And then he did drop some insinuations like, "Oh, I was worried about her. I'd feel this way." You know, just nonsense. That's not getting you anywhere. In that sort of way. I was going to do this. You know what I'm going to do instead? I'll put a link to it in the description below. Colonel Kurtz, who was talking on this video, has her own channel. She's really cool, and she follows a lot of stuff. For those of you who are into this, she told me a story about a videotape where Amber, it appears, beat up her sister, and then her sister was on some show and showing bruises or whatever. I'll put a link to that in the description. I was going to show it, but I thought, it's from a show, so they'll probably copyright me or something. I don't know. I won't do it. Plus, it's not mine. But she's got a really interesting channel. If you want to follow for like more details and like all the nitty gritty of this stuff. Her question was, can they get this video into evidence? And I'm thinking it's a tough call because it's more prejudicial than probative. But you could find an excuse under the right circumstances. But you could also write a 47-page law review article on that question. So there we have it. I just clipped it down to what I thought was the most interesting of what I saw today, and I saw most of it, not all of it, but most of it. And I that fascinated me. I wanted to know if they were going to have good corroboration, because that's the only thing that could flip me. And then they offer a witness that actually helps Johnny more than Amber. I don't get it. All right, cerebral tackle. We love you, Mike. You're our boy. Oh, thank you. All right. I appreciate y'all coming out. I will get back to making fun of pro ses and sovereign citizens, and I miss it. But I had that was all that was available to me today, because I was on that stream all day, so that's all I knew about. So I had to grab the most interesting clip from that and roll, or not put anything up at all. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.